come with me today to request a 19.5K payout from my 13 Apex funded accounts. And these are Apex's new 50K end of day funded accounts. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick review over them, how I thought about them, and maybe go over some rules and such. But you guys can see I'm logged in my dashboard. We'll do a payout request live here real quick. And then I'll go over the trades I took on the last day that got me my 5th green day. So let's get straight into it. So let's go in active PAs. You can see I have 5 active evals and I have 13 active funded accounts. I need to get, what is that, 2 more. I need to get 2 more accounts, 2 more evals, and to turn those into funded accounts so I can max out at 20 accounts on Apex. But regardless, right now we're requesting on 13 accounts. As you can see, I'm gonna scroll here real quick. You can see all active accounts. They are the new 50K trade of 8 end of day trails. And these accounts so far, they're just like any other end of day account that you guys can get any other prop firm. But yeah, we'll go over the rules real quick and such after I request this payout. We can see I maxed it out at level 3. So this depends on your balance that you get to. So the more balance you can grow your balance, the more perks you get in terms of, I believe, max daily loss limit and the number of contracts you can trade. So I maxed them out at level 3. And yeah, we'll go over each account and request a payout. Agree to payout request agreement. Hit submit. Do you want to continue with their payout request? Okay, there we go. Eligible for payout. Payout request submitted successfully. We're on trading view now here. These are the trades I took to secure my last green day on the Apex accounts. And yes, it looks like a mess here. So I'm gonna go in replay mode here so we can get on this day. Let me delete this too. Okay. So what happened here on this day was I actually secured, I believe I only took 1 trade on my Apex accounts here. I can't remember which setup it was, but I think it was this setup here. And this is the only setup I took on my Apex 13 accounts, and I was done for a day. This is a stop hunter. This high made a new low, right? It made a new low here, also made a new low here. So you can also use this high here. Both give you the same entry, but I had a limit a little bit above that high point right there. I put my stop loss covering this buy to sell. So this is your buy to sell here. B2S, buy to sell. I'm covering the buy to sell, and my target here was this 30-minute demand. Now, that's the entry. Why did I even go look for shorts? Well, I looked for shorts because we had a gap here. You can see there's an actual gap. So this is not a fair value gap. This is the actual gap in the market, and this tends to happen at Sunday open because the market spread. So we have this true gap here we got to fill. Now with gaps, you got to be careful. We won't always fill to the exact last candle or a 1-minute PY in the gap. Sometimes we will, sometimes we just won't, and we will fill another time frame PY. So if you flip time frames, you'll find which one looks the cleanest. You can see the 1 hour, there is no gap. There's a volume imbalance. On a 30-minute, it looks very clean. 1, 2, 2 as in the gap, and 3 as in the bullish candle. There's a 30-minute demand here, and if you go in the other time frames, you can see if you can find any type of refinement. But 30-minute looked good to me. It looked the cleanest. Like the 5-minute here doesn't look as clean or as singular. 30-minute is straight singular here. So that was my target there, and look how precise what I teach you guys is. Like this literally hits to the tick. You could have had maybe a 1 to 100 RR trade off of this PY here, off this 30-minute here, with like a very tiny stop loss. Now that's not how I trade personally, but I'm just saying the entry would have been little to no drawdown. You see, hit the 30-minute. We missed a 1 minute mitigation here, which was my mistake. I'll explain later. I was kind of greedy here, you know, trying to go for a bigger target, but that was 3R a trade I took to the downside to secure my $300 green day on my Apex account. Now, these next trades were taken on my other accounts because I locked out of my Apex accounts, locked out essentially. I stopped copy trading those because, you know, once you get that green day, I'm already eligible for max payout. There's no reason to continue trading and add more variation or variables to my system. Because you gotta trade prop firms slightly differently than your personal account. With prop firms, your goal is to get a payout or get multiple payouts. It's not necessarily to grow the count to as big numbers as possible. So anyway, next trade here, I took an OB entry model off of this PY here, above this inducement. We have this inducement here for that PY, so it looked like a very nice zone to take the trade off of. I took it off the OB entry model. Here is the OB drawn out, set a limit there, target there, and my target was basically the 1 minute zone here, as you can see that is marked out by my indicator. Now this is where I went wrong, because like I said, it's not always going to fill fully, and the 30 minute looked the cleanest. I wasn't greedy on this trade, luckily, otherwise it would have hit stop loss or break even, but I did get greedy here. I could have secured at the next PY a 3R short. I could have been up 6R here, but instead I'm only up 2R now, because I was trying to go for a big target that also ES took out this low. So there's an SMT going against me here as well. I could have easily went break even, but I just had a little too much of a ignorant bias and got stuck up on this full mitigation. So knowing also at the same time we are bullish, my daily bias is pointing bullish, so I should have recognized that and been more cautious. Price is also bullish, we're creating higher highs, so I should have been more cautious there with my TP. That was on me. That's a technical mistake on my end. Now, next trade here is an emotional trade. This trade here was off this liquidity sweep. I was thinking about sweeping all this liquidity to then go for the, again, major. This is, the TP is a technical mistake. The entry is an emotional mistake here. Technical mistake is the target, but the emotional mistake is even taking this trade in the first place, because we already have a failed break of structure here. So if you read what I wrote here, I even reminded myself, my major mistake was not trusting this FBOS, and I was stuck to draw liquidity of mitigating this and mitigate the 30 minute demand. We won't always fill the entire 1 minute gap, but may mitigate another time frame. So just a little note to myself to remind myself, because I made this mistake not just one time, but a few times. And that's why you guys are learning from my mistakes too. I'm also still learning about the markets every single day. Even though I'm already profitable, I always think there is some sort of new thing you can learn and sharpen your edge, or just fix your emotions, which is what I was lacking here. I wasn't really lacking technical misunderstanding. It was my emotions getting in the way of forcing something that I know is not always going to happen in the market, and the probabilities played against me. This is the FBOS because this high is supposed to put in a new low. It's supposed to go mitigate this, but we did not. We held this low. We held this low here, and we broke above this high. Now this confirms this as a FBOS. It will look weird because ES took out this low, so technically that's a strong high on ES. Sometimes that's gonna happen in markets. It's manipulation. It is what it is. It's SMT. You can't really do much about it. The market's not perfect, okay? But that is a clear sign on NQ at least. There's a FBOS on here. So we have the FBOS, which stands for failed break of structure, by the way. And so anything above here, looking for shorts, is all invalid now. You should only be looking for longs, but I was looking for shorts here. I got too stuck up. I think it's because of what happened here. I got a little tilted. And so I want to see if I can finally catch a massive 13R trade, but understanding win rate and RR are both factors in your trading. And so you can't just say, oh, the RR for this trade is amazing. It's a 20R trade. I'm going to take it. If the win rate is 5%, it's not good. So I took a loss here. Also, my mistake here was a technical mistake because we already took out inducement here. So you shouldn't have a limit order here anymore. There's no more OB inch model. This is an invalid setup. So I took an invalid setup and lost. Now I saw drawn liquidity. I finally flipped. Is this next high? We took out previously a high, and I'm expecting us this retracement to make a new high. We're trading at all-time highs. I'm looking for a bullish price delivery along with my daily bias indicator. If you want access to an indicator, it is in my link on my website as well. I took a stop under here, waited very patiently here, and took an L. I could have secured 2.6, 2.3R, but took an L there. I was trying to target the next high, basically to draw liquidity. And then we hit a PY in discount. So the range is here, and we hit it in discount. So we hit this in discount, and I basically took the entry here off the IFG inversion using my indicator. This is the extreme IFG. We have a bullish candle representing a pullback, low, extreme IFG here, and you just enter off of that. My stop loss, I just covered that candle low For 4R, it's targeting previous day high or next high. And boom, easily ran about a little bit more past my TP, but that's okay. Can't catch all of the move every time. And yeah, this is called trading with the trend here, trading with block flow. Even if I take a loss here, this 1R doesn't phase me because I know, okay, price is gonna go for this PY and then go higher. So I don't mind taking this L here, going long, because I can just take a winner off of this PY right below. And that PY I think is drawn in the 5 minute. Yeah, you can see the 5 minute is 5 minutes, sorry, is singular here. So it looks a lot cleaner. You can also refine to the 1 minute. It hit both anyway. And yeah, hit TP there. So at this point, I was up 4R. 3R, 3 losses in a row. Again, I lose consecutively 2. Everyone thinks I only win and I never lose. That's just not true. I've shown you guys the Apex accounts. I've shown you guys I started off with major drawdown. I've had actually many times on my funded accounts where I start off with major drawdown. I think my biggest drawdown was like minus 1.8K, 1.891. And I was able to bring that up to massive numbers. So stick to your edge and let it play out. There's no reason to force yourself to blow an account because you're a major drawdown. Because if you're doing that, to me, you're no different than a gambler. So instead of trying to just say screw it and blow the account because you're a major drawdown, how about you stick to your edge and let your edge play out? If it doesn't play out, you still stick to your rules, and that's green in my books. Because the more you stick to your rules, the better habits you build, and the better habits you build, the better you will become as a trader. Next setup here was a stop hunter. Okay, so I took a break from the market here for a bit. There was more setups. I did mark them out. You can see there's a setup here to the upside. There's a stop hunter here that hit TP to the upside. Another setup here. There was you probably could have made 8 to 10 RR with my trading strategy here, going to the upside here. Maybe take like 1 or 2 losses here, and then take some continuations. And then I missed that setup there off the 30-minute supply that I did mark out with manipulation. But yeah, anyway, ended up taking this loss here with stop hunter. I've gone over the setup so many times in my videos on my YouTube. I think you guys understand the point of the setup. A lot of consolidation here. So I should have ideally not traded anymore. I was thinking about just not trading at all here, but there was a nice zone here above, and I was looking very bearish here. I did write price signature here, looks really good for stop hunter at the time. Even though it failed, this looked very good for downside. And I also made some new notes or side notes here because, like I said, even though I'm a professional trader, I shouldn't be calling myself professional, non-professional trader or retail trader, I still want to be learning from the market. So I do write down notes on my charts from time to time to see if the market is reversing or making big moves off of things that are not part of my understanding or system of how the market's supposed to move. So I was kind of seeing if this would be a move where it does something like this, it wipes out highs, which it should not be, by the way. Based on my understanding, it should not be. The reason why I wrote this is because I saw my stop hunter fail. So I was a little skeptical, but I still stuck to my system. So sticking to my system here, you can see, eventually, this is supposed to be a win, but unfortunately I took it on NQ. We had an OB entry model off of mitigating the flip. OB right here, I have my limit, and boom. Yeah, random spike out of nowhere. It's not even like a session open or close. This is random spike. And it dumped hard. So, I mean, not much I can do here, to be honest. It would have been a banger 9-hour trade. I think my day would have been up way more if I caught this and didn't get manipulated. But if you go on ES, we had an SMT. ES held that high and ES dumped as well. Very unfortunate. Not much I can do here. I was trading NQ at the time. So took that L there, but jeez. I mean, could you imagine? It would have been crazy dump. We later went to the POC if you want to see what that is on the higher time frame. This is the 4-hour POC. This is a daily demand, I think. Okay, maybe not. It's 4-hour POC. And we did have a nice upside move from that POC point. But yeah, that's basically it for today's video. This is going over how I was able to come out green despite taking all these losses here. I took 1, 2, 3, 4. I took 5 losses and 2 winners. So let's pull up the calculator here. What is the win right there on this session? 5 losers, 2. at a 28% win rate here. With the 28% win rate, I was still able to come out green because my winners are bigger than my losers. This 3R winner here breaks even from these 3 losses, or these 3 losses, sorry, break even from just 1 winner. And then now I'm up 4R, took 2 losses, now I'm up 2R. I'm still green despite a 28% win rate. So that's the power of basically my trading strategy that I show you guys on my YouTube here, and the Discord as well. If you're not in the Discord server, it's completely free. You can click the link down below to join. But that basically goes over my payout request video on Apex and the steps I took to get there. So I will do recap of my other days as well on my trading view. I'm gonna start, I have to delete some of these images to be honest, but start lagging a lot for my videos. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one.